23, and like last year it was 7.4 million, and his cap hit on his new deal just starts this year. It's 35.7, and then it jumps up to 46.7 the next year. And people are like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's the salary cap. We all like to joke. I make the joke all the time that it seems like funny money, but here's the two teams in the league that have two of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league just had to trade the two best receivers in the league because they couldn't afford to keep them.
Welcome back, everyone, to Rough Draft Research. I'm AJ in the 99. We signed him. Daniil Hunter's back. Christian in the 17. R.I.P.
Traded him.
I don't have a Tyreek Hill jersey for obvious reasons, but Chris Jones is still on the team.
Yeah,
so.
you look good in teal, though.
Oh,
Oh man, this whole time last year, I was the one talking about having to buy a teal jersey of one of the players off my team, and it's actually you that has to do it.
It's all come around.
It could work out.
I mean, you don't have to, I guess.
Definitely not happening. But in an alternate universe, there's a Daniel that has a Mike Gesicki jersey somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I'm not fully convinced you're not going to trade that 17 for Tyreek Hill and end up buying that with your funds at the end of the year.
I thought about it.
Yeah, I know you did.
But honestly, I'd probably try to package something.
Yeah, you always trying to get a deal.
Yeah, I never do a 1-for-1.
I guess while we're talking trades, Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins for 5 picks.
That's for my friend, the marine biologist.
Yeah, there you go.
Spot on.
Thank you. It's
South Atlantic bottlenose. I liked it.
Yes, sir. We be schooling.
Yeah. So Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle with Tua. I really enjoyed the
Preston Williams time.
Yeah, Preston Williams. Yeah, he's an afterthought at this point.
It seems like a lot to me to pay for a wide receiver.
Yep.
But
yeah.
I don't know, especially when your quarterback is like, you have quarterback questions and you're like, fuck it. He just needs more weapons.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the problem, man. Jalen Waddle's a fine number one.
Like, not anymore.
He's a fine 17. We got some good ones in the league.
Yeah, the 17s are the best.
Yeah. Hey,
seems a good ass number
right here.
Last time repping it.
You got a new 17 in your life, though. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I do have Terry McLaurin.
Talk about trades that matter.
Yeah. Right. So, also in other news, we got the Davante Adams going to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
He's no longer a Packer. The Packers now, do they finally draft a receiver in the first round?
I feel like you have to. I feel like that's the reason, they wanted another number one pick, because they don't like taking receivers in the first round. So now if you have two, you can take one and then take the guy you really want, Right. So I don't know. You would think, but who knows? They probably think they can find value in the second round, and I'm sure they can. Ironically, the pick we got back from the Raiders in the second round was the 53rd pick, and we took Davante Adams with the 53rd pick in the 2014 draft. So who knows? Maybe they think they'll just do that again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lazard's our number
Big
one
names.
receiver right now.
Yeah, you look real confident over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Matt LaFleur is 7-0 without Davante Adams. So he knows how to make the offense work without him. I mean, that's just one of those stupid stats you throw out there, obviously. But, I don't know. A Matt LaFleur offense doesn't need a number one receiver. Obviously, losing Davante Adams is huge. And you can't just replace him. But I don't know. Aaron Rodgers and LaFleur will figure something out, hopefully. And then, I'm sure they're going to sign someone older or trade for someone. I guess they called Seattle about DK Metcalf already.
Went straight to
that's all just
voicemail.
rumors. Yeah. But I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Like,
It's
hey,
sad
you
to see Devontae gone.
Hey, listening to you, it sounded like you're still processing all this, man. It sounded like you're lying to yourself a little bit. Like Matt LaFleur is 7-0 without Devontae Adams. Sounds like something you write on a piece of paper and then you put it under your pillow, hoping there's a Lombardi trophy when you wake up. But it's really just a sweaty piece of paper.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what most people are doing. I kind of just brought it up, but yeah.
I guess we got some quarterback news. Matt Ryan to the Colts. The Falcons again setting records over here. Dead cap of $40.5 million. We got Winston to the Saints. Marcus Mariota to the Falcons. And then Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
So threw it all out there. I'm just going to throw it over you guys. Just discuss.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons' feet looking like Swiss cheese because they got shots fired. That's like how, you didn't have to go out there and become the worst franchise. Like everyone else was making it really hard to do. Houston was like, hey, don't worry, we got this. And Atlanta's like, no, we got this.
Actually.
Fucking
We'll
crazy
handle
shit.
Yeah,
well.
it's a lot. It's weird. I think they did Matt Ryan dirty, and then they tried to
Dirty bird.
PR it up and be like, oh yeah, we sent him somewhere where it'd be the best interest. And it's like, you were literally had him on your roster and actively were going after this other guy. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean you did it in the best interest? You fucked him over. And you pissed him off, and now he wanted to bounce. He's been the face of your franchise for 15 years, and you're a dick. Fuck you, Falcons. I'm glad he's on the Colts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely great for the Colts. Yeah, I don't know. Atlanta is just like a sinking ship. I mean, Calvin Ridley, and then now.
I mean, that's probably got a lot to do with it. Like, in their mind, they're like, okay, well, we just lost Calvin Ridley. We're already not a very good team. Let's just swing for Deshaun Watson, and if it doesn't work out, we blow it up and get the first overall pick next year. That has to be the logic, right?
Of course. Yeah, and that's going to be – hey, man, that's a quick turnaround. Next year's got some sweet quarterbacks. Got some sweet quarterbacks. I was just watching some of these Alabama wideouts. And I was like, oh, that young quarterback in Alabama is looking real feisty.
There you go.
I'm excited to see that. But, I'm okay with Amari Cooper's. He had a stock way down. Like, if you could have bought Amari Cooper last week, you'd probably be happy now. Because I think his price is at least leveled out.
Yeah, buy him on the suspension, baby.
Now you got Deshaun Watson in Cleveland.
Did you hear there's talks of Jarvis Landry coming back?
Really?
Yeah, now because Baker's not at the helm, he's interested in coming back. I think also it has a lot to do with Juju taking the KC spot.
Yeah.
Hey, Jarvis would be great in Green Bay.
That'd be fun. I don't know.
It's like a retirement.
Maybe now.
Yeah. Sure. I'm 2 Coors in over here. Need that fucking energy drink all of a sudden. All right, America. If you know anything about anything, you know that we're doing part 2 of the 64-man rookie draft. And we're doing a tournament-style bracket. We did part 1 last week. I thought it went pretty well. We did the, I want to say we did the orange. No, we did the red.
That's this week.
And the green.
And the green. And this week we're doing the orange and the blue. We had some pretty interesting matchups, and this week I think we got some even closer ones. So tune in with us. This is a single quarterback. We got the top 64 players, kind of loose collection, appreciate everyone who got down on the Google Forums and decided to cast their rankings, help us out with the seeding process. And without any further ado, let's go to it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, dude. And if you're interested, turn on the YouTube channel, man. We got a bracket. It's right above us. You can see the whole thing.
Oh yeah, we got that.
I don't know where it
bracket.
is in relation to me, so I'll just
You're
this,
straight up. You're in the middle.
Straight up.
In
the middle. Okay.
Yeah. There it is.
So I was just gonna rotate and let you pick which one made sense for the.
They all made sense, man, because you were pointing in the upward direction the whole time.
Let's go.
Let's get it started. As you guys know, with the seeding process, it makes it pretty tough to get an upset in. So let's see if we got any today. The first matchup is the number 1 seeded Treylon Burks, that is out of Arkansas, wide receiver, and he's up against the UCLA's finest Kyle Phillips, wide receiver as well.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like this is pretty simple. Kyle Phillips needs to lose for Treylon Burks to win, and that's what's happening.
Oh, big time. Yeah. I will say though, Kyle Phillips, man, he's a grinder. He's a pretty good blocker. I feel like he's always involved at the point of attack. There was a block he had. Now I forgot to write down who it was against, but it was like they caught like a little out route, and then he was out in front of that route, and he just took the guy out in front of him and made that play go an extra 20, 30 yards. And that's the kind of shit that's going to make a team love him and take a chance on him in the draft at some point. But I don't know that he'll be worth a fantasy draft pick, maybe like a flyer at the end of the draft, or like wait till Fab. But yeah, obviously no way he's beating Treylon Burks, but yeah, good little player though. I liked him when I watched.
Yeah, I liked watching him too. I thought he was solid. I liked his style. He seemed like he was kind of a tougher player. I will say a lot of his catches were kind of wide open. Like he didn't have a lot of decent coverage. It was just like soft coverage, but good yards after the catch, and definitely kind of quick. Like run to the end zone, beat you to the corner type guy. It was fun. I thought it was more fun than I expected when I pulled the tape up. But yeah, he takes the L. So we got to get him out of here.
Get him out.
So we're going to the 8 versus the 9 matchup, and that's John Metchie, that's Alabama wide receiver, versus Pierre Strong.
Ooh, la,
Now we know a couple things about Pierre. Coming at you out of South Dakota State.
Hashtag Cade Johnson.
Cade Johnson, man. One jackrabbit deserves another. So, what's up? Yeah, I feel like Pierre Strong gets the upset here, or
big time.
Yeah.
I don't see it as an upset, but
I don't really. Metchie. I was a little surprised about the Metchie action myself, but yeah, I think Metchie's got a couple things to be excited about. His time in Alabama, it gives a clear. It didn't really give me a clear type of wide receiver for him. Like I didn't see a defined type, but he did really well in playing. I mean, he had 1,100 yards. There was 900 yards last year, 14 touchdowns over the past 2 years, and he is young. He's got that 21.6 age. Looked like he got a ton of work in the screen game, but he had an injury, tore the ACL, so got to look out for how that's going to hamper him in the future. But it was kind of fun to watch him play. But like I said, he was kind of like an all-around guy, and you worry about how that translates to NFL production. But
yeah, and that's the thing with him. I like him. I'm with you. I think he will find a role in the NFL. I see him as kind of like a slot guy. But with the injury and everything, I'll just take Strong's potential. Like the combine, he actually absolutely crushed and like put him on the map. Whereas obviously Metchie had the injury, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. he'll find a role somewhere, but I don't know. I'm not super duper interested personally. So
I'm half interested. I'm kind of kicking him around in the like a late second.
yeah,
I thought he had a lot of potential, and he did have like 40% of his work in the slot. So maybe that could be. I just feel like he has the option to play anywhere, and it's so undefined that I can't I can't picture it, so I can't get excited about it.
Landing spot, landing spot, landing spot.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll roll up into our next one. We got Skyy Moore coming at you live. Gotta love Skyy Moore. It's a Western Michigan guy, so that's a little exciting for some of us. He's the 5th ranked dude, and he's up against number 12, Kyren Williams, who we've heard plenty about, both good and bad, coming out of Notre Dame, the running back. And I couldn't decide who won this one. And
Okay.
Maybe you can enlighten me.
I took Skyy Moore. I'm pretty high on Skyy Moore, though. I actually have him as my 6th receiver in the draft. He may fall if I start putting other stuff on there because I don't know. I haven't done a lot of ranking since our episode. And there's a few people that need to be ranked, but I've got him sitting there right now. I think he's 195, 5'10". He fits really well as like a slot guy, and he had the measurables to kind of like show it out. The 4.4, what was it? 4.4, 140. Not a crazy vert or anything, but I think he's going to fit really well in an offense. And with Kyren Williams disappointing. And for me, a guy that's sub 200 pounds as a running back already has an uphill climb to make me super interested. And then to perform like that at the combine, I don't want to blame it all on workouts because that's not, that has shown to not be true. Like you can have a bad workout and still have a good career. But for this tournament we're doing, I would go Skyy Moore over Williams for that reason.
Okay, so no upset needed. I could have gone either way. I do like Skyy Moore quite a bit, but I gotta also say, like, Kyren Williams broke a lot of hearts. Like you're saying, coming in at I think it's 194, and then running 4.65. Like that's fucking disgraceful. But
yeah.
Sorry for yelling. I mean, I don't know how many kids are listening to this. But what I meant was everyone has a dream, and we can all do what we set our hearts to. And with that in mind, you look at Kyren Williams' production, and he's got a great production profile. Coming off a 42-catch season, 35-catch, very well-rounded. He's got the skills to pay the bills, man. Yards after contact, 3.7. That's not nothing. But you gotta prove that you're either fast or you have the body, and he doesn't have either of those 2 strikes. And then you go up against Skyy Moore, who's got nothing but potential. And I'm with you, man. So cool beans. And,
all right, I thought I was gonna have to argue more on that one, actually.
Maybe I'm saving my arguments for the next.
Yeah, that
round
makes
of
sense.
32.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get heated, right? Like, I love it's at this point where it's just like the matchup to me. I haven't looked long term yet. The future path. There's gonna be some real headbutts going on here. Speaking of arguments, we got number 4, Desmond Ryder, and we got Sincere McCormick at number 13. So that's University of Austin, or University of Texas, San Antonio. And then Desmond Ritter, of course, out of Cincinnati.
Sincere McCormick, your guy.
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter, Christian's guy. This feels like a little Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon tension right here. So I'm just going to kick it over to you guys and let you hash it out.
Okay. Well, who do you got, man? Who you got winning this one?
This one's tough because it's hard for me to want to pick a quarterback over a running back in a single quarterback league, but I went with Desmond Ridder. I think Sincere's McCormick's is a really fun back. He runs well. He's got decent size, not in like credible size, but I don't know. He doesn't explode off the tape, but yeah, like you were talking about with Williams, you look at the production, 3 years, awesome production, 983 yards is the lowest he's had since being the starter. 2 back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons. Lowest season with touchdowns is 9, and you're at least getting 15, or like his lowest or highest, was 15. So that production profile is awesome. The measurables are fine. They're not bad. They're not great. But I just think Ritter's stock has been going up and up and up, and I'm just here for it. So I'm just going to try to push for him. And I don't know, he could try to get you that dual threat running, passing quarterback if he can fix a little his accuracy issues. And that could be like you know how I always talk about like tight ends, like those top 3 tight ends, and it's not me saying it, but everyone. But that's like such like a extra piece you can throw on your fantasy team to kind of give you an edge for a championship. Same thing with a dual threat quarterback. And I think you could take a shot on Ridder here. And maybe it's just because I might take a shot on him in the second round of our draft. But who knows?
Now you're scaring everybody with your shot calls, my friend. Yeah, I've got Desmond Ridder winning this one. Okay. I was pretty happy about Sincere McCormick coming in at 205. But yeah, the 4.6 40 kind of hurt. You know, the burst score being weak also hurt. But I really do stand by my original opinion of him. I think that I really like his style. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows what he wants to do. And I think he's a great running back. I think he reads his blocks. He has a great cutback, fast steps, good decision making, great vision. And I kind of liked his burst through the hole, even though, you know, the calculation of numbers doesn't agree with the burst. I still think he's got a lot of potential. And I saw on the field what I saw. Obviously, the competition wasn't the greatest. The O-line was pretty solid. And sometimes that can affect things. But I'm not thinking less of him just because his 40 time wasn't stellar. But on the other side, Desmond Ridder completely destroyed the combine. And there's, like, you can't argue with that at all. So he gets the W for me and for you.
Yeah. Including a faster 40 time than Sincere McCormick.
Yeah, and he weighs more than Sincere McCormick. So
yeah.
How big are his hands, though?
Sincere, though, I do think he could find a role and be an exciting player. I'd be excited. You know, I don't think the Packers are going to draft a quarter or a running back, but I'd be excited to have him on my NFL team. But
this is a bad draw for him in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. He would have beaten a few other people for sure.
Absolutely. But shit, here we go. Rolling right into the next one. We got Georgia's James Conner, also, or James Cook. Oh my God. Dalvin's little brother, James. And he's a running back, believe it or not. And then we got Jalen Tolbert. So he's a wide receiver, and he's out of South Alabama. So what is up, AJ? I love your show sheet. Please put the schools on next year.
Yeah. I think I started that last week.
It's all good.
Hey, he's from Mobile.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know where these guys are from, but it's a lot easier when it's on the...
No, I understand.
I'm sorry. Sorry, the tangent is unnecessary. For me, I give James Cook the win. Christian?
I gave it to Tolbert.
Actually.
Yeah, I got Tolbert's moving up not only my draft board, I think he's moving up some NFL draft boards, man. Like, he's 6'3", 190 pounds, runs a 4.49, so not like the most incredible 40, but still pretty quick for a guy that's 6'3". But what I really liked about him watching the film was his, like, acceleration, man. Like, he just fucking flies from a dead stop. to going wherever he is. Doesn't have that top end speed that you like to see out of a receiver. And then Cook, the reason I put him over Cook is like Cook obviously has this incredible playmaking ability just out the ass. It's a consistency thing. Is that going to be sustainable in the NFL? Because like he's undersized for a running back. Are they going to move him to receiver? Is he going to be an exciting trick play guy? Is he going to be a return guy? Like, what are we doing with him? I think there's a lot of question marks, and seeing where he goes will be big. Seeing if I see a role for him in the offense. But if you look at it on paper, to me, just comparing the two, I would go with Tolbert.
Okay, well, because I'm obviously great at my job, I assumed everyone listening knew that we had James Conner at the 6th spot and Jalen Tolbert.
James Cook. What did I say that time? Conner.
Damn, dude, I can't do this. James Conner is infiltrated.
That's how you know he's about to be a running back 1 next year.
I've been incepted. All right, James Cook is the 6th seed. Jalen Tolbert is the 11th seed. So what you're talking about is an upset.
Yeah.
Man, and it was upsetting me. I enjoyed his film too. And like you're saying, he gets separation. He's got the acceleration. I kind of wanted to see, I thought a 4.49 was a touch slow compared to the game film. And then what I kind of saw was a guy that was playing, a big fish in a small pond as far as playing for South Alabama. And so I just wasn't sure if I could get behind it. I do really like him. Obviously, he's an amazing deep threat. He's tall and he's got insane production, 1,400 yards plus, and then 8 touchdowns, 18 yards per catch. But just I don't know, man. I'm just getting excited about James Cook a little bit. But shit, I don't know what to do here. Him up.
That's fine. I mean, I don't think it's like a blowout by any means, and there will be people I want to fight for harder than Tolbert. So I'm okay if we move Cook. But just know I want it on the record. I disagreed.
Okay. Well, that can definitely be on the record.
Yeah, I'll edit this. We'll see what happens. Stricken it.
I just want it to be on the record that I agree.
So we're going James Cook here, correct?
I guess so. James Cook. Sorry, man. It's all your
fine.
Positional advantage stuff. You finally got me. Or maybe
I finally got you, and I tried to flip it on you.
Flip the script.
But I thought that was a hard one.
I actually do like
close.
Jalen Tolbert sitting at the 2.5 in the draft. He's crossed my mind depending on position. Or
well, I guess we should have gone to you for the tiebreaker. But
well, there you go. Advanced Jalen, man. I'm good with that. I don't really like James Cook. I think if he was going to do it, he would have been doing it. He's too small, and he's kind of a scat back. It's whatever. I just thought the small school.
Is this getting flipped? Is this?
Yeah, it's getting flipped, man. I just didn't.
Script's getting flipped.
I didn't want to get too excited about a small school guy because of what happened with me
last year.
A guy named Jalen Darden. So Jalen's from small schools. Cade Johnson, yeah.
Something I like about Jalen Tolbert is he's only at a small school because he wanted to be by family, and that's where he grew up. Like he wanted to be there. I feel like that kind of speaks a little bit more than some guy that was just like that was his only option.
Yeah. But it still does make you scared of the level of competition, because if he's out there looking as fast, and to the point that Dan had about his 40 time being slower than what you'd see on film, and that makes sense, with the level of competition he's going up against. He obviously is going to look faster because everyone else is slower. So
4.49 doesn't scare me as a receiver, though.
No, for that, and that's where I'm at with it. Like the height combined with the 4.49, like that's not.
So bad. What? You're shaking your head.
What height? The guy was supposed to be 6'3". He's only 6'1".
6'1" and a quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you got a 6'1" guy running a 4.49 in the NFL that's supposed to be a deep threat. He's going to have a cornerback in his back pocket, undercutting throws and picking them off all day.
All right. Well, let's change it back.
Whew, I'm sorry,
Yeah, let me
fellas.
change that.
I'm still keen on Jalen Tolbert, so maybe I'll
What's
give him
my
a
fucking
3.8.
deal with these heights, dude? Heights and weights, I just can't keep them straight.
PFF didn't update them after the combine.
Fucking. Well, let's go to the next one
Okay.
because I know this could be interesting.
Whoo. Okay, so now we're still in the orange bracket for everyone who's following along at home. It's just
If you're on YouTube, you would just see the visuals. Just
absolutely. This visual beauty. So we got the number 3. That's Trey McBride, a Colorado State tight end, versus Abram Smith, number 14. He's the running back out of Baylor. And I think Trey McBride wins this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Abram Smith,
go
cool.
ahead.
You know, oh, I mean, he's cool, but he's just he'll excel as a power back in the NFL. But if I'm going to take a chance on 2 players, I'll take a chance on a starting tight end over a power back. You know, like I think that's just fairly simple to me. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing with him is like there's only 1 year of production. You know, he's been at Baylor for a long time. Started out as a linebacker. Now that 1 year was a 1,600-yard season with 12 touchdowns, and 1,000 of those yards were after contact. But, you know, I got him more as a deep sleeper, a guy that I'm going to be watching, not a guy that can come out and, you know, best the top tight end in the draft, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big sleeper. You know, this guy was on the team when Matt Rule was still at Baylor, so look out for that. You know, he was playing defense at the time, but look out for that. I don't know. I really liked Abram Smith. I liked the story. I liked the player. So I'm going to get a little excited about him. What I didn't like was that he didn't put up any combine numbers, so it didn't give you anything. That's the thing, you know. I need a bump, not to put any drug references in this, but I need a bump, you know, and he didn't give me my bump on the combine metrics, so that is what it is.
Nothing worse than not getting your bump. So
I know, man. How am I supposed to keep this party going? But okay, well, that was fun. The next one up is number 7, Dameon Pierce, and that is your Florida running back. And then you have Samuel Howell, UNC quarterback, number 10. So I didn't put a winner here because this orange bracket it's a good bracket. I thought some close matchups. I'm willing to listen to arguments if you're prepared to make an opening statement.
I'm kind of with you. I didn't really know where to go with this one. Hal was like awesome as a runner, and I think it's really cool how he just took that role over when he lost Javonte and Michael Carter. He's still super young, so yet, you know, like he could go to a team where somebody could develop him into somebody. And Pierce disappointed at the combine. But I don't know, still taking a chance on a running back that I liked on film. I don't know. To me, this is a straight toss-up. Hal could be the next Big Ben or the next 3-year start backup that ends up never in the league again. And the same thing could be said about Pierce. I think the odds of Hal being better are stronger, but not a whole ton stronger. So I went with the running back just because I think it's probably easier to find a quarterback eventually than a running back. But I don't really care who we move forward. Pierce was one of my guys, and then with the small production, you needed kind of, you know, like what you were saying, you needed that bump. I needed that bump of awesome athletics, and that just didn't happen. So I don't know. It's whatever. But whoever wins this is losing in the next round. So,
amen, brother. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I think Sam Howell is like he could be like Baker Mayfield plus. I think he's got a better. You know, I shouldn't even say anything because Baker's college film was a lot better than his pro film, so it's really hard to compare recency bias. Because I like Hal, I really do like him. But yeah, just because of positional, I'm cool with putting Damian Pierce up.
Okay.
I'll say anything nice about him that I can think of. Like he didn't really do anything in college,
Yeah.
but he did score 13 touchdowns on 100 attempts this last year, which is pretty cool. Like that's 13%. Touchdown rate is not really something you see very often. So I'll take that. He also had plenty of pass catching even last year when he was really not used very heavily. So he's got the hands, he's got the potential, but it's a limited profile. Let me see what I got on him here. I know I got some noise. Do elevator music. Hit me. 3.6 yards after contact, 5.7 yards per carry, 9 rushes, 15 plus yards. You know. Basically, he has potential. He has great size at 218, 5'10". I love that. But yeah, basically running a 4.6 40.
Yeah, that's rough.
We'll let it slide. Let's not just
We'll
spend
let you
too
get
much
to the
time.
next round, but no farther.
That's right.
Yep.
Don't let me keep talking about him. So yeah, we'll cap this last one off in the orange bracket. We got number 2, David Bell, up against number 15, Cole Turner. Cole Turner. Out of so he's a tight end out of Nevada. Ow! The Wolf Pack in the hizzy. Whereas David Bell was out of Purdue, but the Boilermakers, wide receiver, and a bossy ass one at that. He gets the win. Duh.
Oh yeah, big time.
But if you're into Cole Turner, then you're me. This is a tight end that played out of the slot quite a bit. He's pretty physical. He's got good size. I think a 4.8 40 is fine for a tight end. He's definitely kind of a pure pass catcher. He's serviceable as a blocker, but he uses his size and reach to really high point, get contested catches. Mm-hmm. There's like a number of him just like catching balls that are out of bounds inside the end zone. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, throw it over there and I'll get it. You know, like he's going to pickpocket you in the stands from the end zone because he can do that.
You'd know that if you was watching Box Score Boomers.
That's right. My biggest thing is he just comes down with the ball. He comes down with the ball.
Hey,
and he looks like he's having fun, man. Like you watch these guys play and like you can be athletic, you can be good, but like he looks like he's having fun, and it's because he's out there just being a beast. And I think he's got potential. So that's it.
I definitely agree. I think he's really fun. He definitely has potential. I'm a little nervous that maybe his game's not sustainable in the NFL for like fantasy purposes, but like I'm excited to see where he goes and excited to see what happens with him for sure.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I mean, you just got to give it a chance. Tight end is like, I feel like it's getting more predictable, but like you got your Logan Thomases, your Bob Tunyons, your Darren Wallers, like your George Kittles even. You know, you never really know. So you could have a guy like Mike Gesicki who everyone's drooling over, and then it's like, I don't know. So you never know. That's what I'm saying.
All right. The orange bracket is now complete. We had Treylon Burks versus Kyle Phillips. Treylon Burks with the victory. The 8-9 matchup, John Metchie from Alabama versus the Jackrabbit. Pierre Strong with the upset. On to round 32. Skyy Moore versus Kyren Williams. A 5 versus the 12. If this was weeks ago, you'd be confused which one was which. The 5 seed Skyy Moore continues on to the round of 32. Desmond Ridder versus Sincere McCormick. Desmond Ridder moves on. The 6 versus the 11. James Cook versus Jalen Tolbert. Which one is it? It's James, not Connor. James Cook.
My bad.
Moving on 3, Trey McBride versus 14, Abram Smith. Trey McBride moves on. Damian Pierce, the 7 versus Sam Howell, the 10. Damian Pierce moves on. Then we got the 15 and the 2, David Bell versus Cole Turner. Cole Turner, loved you, but you didn't win this one. David Bell wins it. And we move on to the blue bracket.
Okay. Man, we talked ourselves out of the only real upset in that one, huh? Oh, well. All right, so here we are in the blue bracket, and we have the number 1 seed, Breece Hall out of Iowa State, running back. You know the name, you know the fame, and he's up against number 16, Erik Ezukanma, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. Not much to say about the matchup because Breece Hall pretty much has to, he'll be waiting for you in the Final Four, if not the championship. If you hear what I'm saying, then you've heard about fantasy football. Let's go ahead and talk about Erik Ezukanma. He's a guy that I'm actually super into. He came up at 209.62, and he had a pretty good burst score, 72nd percentile, and he was the leading the leading receiver for the Texas Tech Red Raiders for the past several years. I think he has solid size, great high point, decent yards after the catch. He was underutilized because there was no real awesome quarterback play, and I think he's got the versatility to be really a solid contributor in the NFL. Someone needs to someone needs to buy into the potential because he didn't have the opportunity to showcase who he really was. Ton of just like shitty hitch routes and screens, and that's like all the quarterback could do was within 5-10 yards of the line of scrimmage. But he has the physical capability, and we have to talk about the speed. Right? Is he fast? Is he slow? Does anybody know? No. Like he didn't do the 40. So you have to wait for the pro day and hope something comes out of that. So I think that's March 30th. We'll be keeping our eye on it.
I like how you say I think.
Whatever. It's not the most anticipated pro day from me, but we'll see you on March 28th. All right. Next up, we got Calvin Austin III versus Jerome Ford. Now, Calvin Austin is a Memphis wide receiver, comes in at the 8th ranked spot, and Jerome Ford is a Cincinnati running back who is representing the 9th spot. Personally, had Jerome Ford losing this to Calvin Austin up for debate.
I push back. I have Ford going ahead.
Okie dokie.
Of Austin, actually.
You got it.
Yeah, so I like both these players a lot. Let me make sure I got the fucking height and weight right. So Calvin Austin, we got at 5'8", 170. Is that
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that's not a death sentence. It's not ideal. That puts him close to like Hollywood Brown, or like Tyler Lockett for the role, like a super fast guy with speed. His acceleration is crazy. They can use him on punt returns. Like, I think he's gonna maybe find a role. With the speed alone is awesome. It's just, the height I'm worried about a bit. And Ford has good size. I mean, his burst score leaves a bit to be desired, but it's, can't have everything sometimes. With Ford, he's only got 1 year of production, but I think he runs well and strong, especially being on the smaller end of that 210 to 27 or to 219 range that I like. He's like right at 210, but he pushes through arm tackles really well. And I really like his cuts. Like, he has a different variety of cuts that he uses. He has this one like bounce cut where he it's almost like he jumps way left or right, and it's fun to watch. And then he's got these like subtle little moves that I like that he does too. More explosiveness would hurt or help him a lot. But I don't know. I just go a good size running back over a smaller, fast receiver is kind of what made the decision here for me.
Well, I think you're crazy.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. I actually wrote profiles on both these guys because I knew it'd come down to this. Because the thing with Calvin Austin is it's the size, right? Like
Yeah,
he loses
that's
this
it.
because he weighs 170 pounds and he's 5'8". You know, even if he had a 95th percentile burst score, he's just, I don't know. He's awesome, and he did great shit. I loved him. I fell in love with him with like the Senior Bowl drills. Like him and Velus Jones, like those were guys that weren't on my radar, and I watched a couple of those drills, and they really popped off to me. But yeah, Jerome Ford, like I said, man, I really that Cincinnati offense really had some something about it, and you know,
got some space dust on him for sure.
Space dust, I like that, man. You say like he only had 1 year of productivity. But with 73 attempts in 2020, he had 8 touchdowns. So that's pretty solid. Yeah. And this is a guy that had 2 years at Alabama, was recruited at Alabama. So you know he's done something right as far as being a running back. So we'll give him the dub. We'll give him the dub on this one. Calvin Austin, you know, I'm keeping an eye on you, man. If you get...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you replace Tyreek Hill. What up?
There you
go. So next up, we got number 5, Matt Corral. That's that Ole Miss quarterback. And then you got Bo Melton. Ooh-wee. Melting my heart. Rutgers wide receiver at the number 12 spot. And that's it for Bo. Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's sad. Player profile compares Melton to Tyler Lockett, which I think is a pretty decent comparison. But that type of player, like even Tyler
Lockett, bro.
Well, oh yeah, I guess I said that in the last one too. But short, fast guys. Yeah. But I don't know. Lockett is kind of the outlier for that like size and profile to work, and he's inconsistent. You know, like he's the best version of what Melton would want to be, and that's still inconsistent. So even if you nail it, you're still getting boomer bust, which I think Matt Corral is also boomer bust. But I don't know. I'll take a chance at a QB instead of a wide receiver. There's a ton of wide receivers in this draft. That's just kind of where I fell on Melton.
Alrighty. Yep, I'll tell you what I fell on him. Fell on excitement. I thought he was a fun player to watch. He seemed to have like as many. The thing I liked about him was what he did at the catch point. He would slow down. He would run away. He had really, really good timing and had the ability to put himself where the ball was going to be. And obviously, I thought he had great athletic measurables. He did put up that 4.34 40, and that's pretty good for me when you talk about a guy who's 190 pounds. So I got excited about that. Rutgers was kind of whatever, but it was fun to watch him play. I thought he had that speed control that makes a guy dynamic and successful. It's like another layer on his game. And so that's cool. Ball tracking is important. But, we'll give him the L here. We don't have to spend too much time on a number 12. Woo! Now we get to something that... Alrighty, here we go. We have number 4, George Pickens. And he's also out of Georgia, wide receiver. And then you have Cade Otton. This is a tight end coming at the number 13 spot out of Washington. So, sorry, Cade.
Yeah, not a ton to say. Cade is one of those college tight ends that has low production, but doesn't mean he can't succeed in the NFL. I think he's got good height. He's a little thin for wide receiver, but I think he's got strong hands. He catches well. He's just not dynamic. Like I watched his highlights because, you know, the format of this is we talk about the guys that are going to lose. So a lot of times I only spend time on the loser. And
appreciate that.
even watching his highlights, they didn't seem like highlights.
Low
It was all
lights.
like, hey, he ran 10 yards and caught the ball, and he was open. And that was it. That was the play. And then he did it again, and it was a touchdown. It's like nothing crazy. You don't watch him and go, man, he's fast. Man, he's big. But he's there catching the ball when they need him to. They just didn't use him a lot. So I'd be intrigued. I don't know. I'll pay attention to where he goes, pick him up after the draft, but he's not close to touching George Pickens.
Yeah, he loses all the way. And he didn't have any metrics to go by.
Yeah.
So maybe that Washington Pro Day we can get something to get excited about, but it will not be his production.
March 28th?
No, I don't
Okay,
know.
just trying to figure it out.
No, as you know who it is, dude. It's Washington State. Washington State. Anyway, I haven't got that. I striked my sleeper. I guess we can talk about him later on in this bracket. So we'll move on to number 6, Brian Robinson Jr., Alabama running back, versus C.J. Verdell, number 11 in this ranking, and he is a running back out of Oregon, and he's up against that number 6, Brian Robinson Jr. So
Right down the road from me over there in Eugene, C.J. Verdell.
wow,
Yeah, like an hour.
you think he's
hour
still
down the road.
there in Eugene right now?
I guess I don't know. Maybe not.
I didn't
But-
ever thought about it.
This is sad, man. Verdell was like already being talked about as like a potential top running back pick like just a couple of years ago. And over the last 2 years, he's played 10 games, is averaging 69 yards a game in those games, rushing yards, and 1 touchdown, which is actually pretty good. 10 touchdowns over the last 2 years in 10 games. So I don't know. It's a what could have been scenario to me, because I just way too many injury flags on this guy for me to be interested at all. So I think he loses here. It's just one of those sad stories of what can happen, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, so Verdell definitely loses. I know the 2020 season for that conference was pretty short. So
Yeah.
he only had those 5 games. But yeah, he definitely had the heartbreaking injury. I have the opposite of what you said, where you gave his last 2 years. I have his first 2 years where he had 10 touchdowns, 2,200 yards, and 41 catches. Obviously, he's been banged up. But the thing that, nail in the coffin, he weighs 194 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
His listed weight was quite a bit more than that over the college years. Maybe he lost some lbs with some with the injury and just being off his feet or whatever. But I said I am curious, but I'm no longer interested. So we'll see what happens with C.J. Verdell. I know a lot of us really wanted some good stuff for him, and he's one of those guys that could have came out last year, but didn't.
Definitely.
And it kind of sucks, for him.
And it's kind of the poster child almost of like, I don't know. I've always been like, pay attention to future draft class, but there's no point in like getting excited and like selling your present to get future draft picks, because you just never know what's going to happen. This guy literally I remember people talking about him being, dude, in 2022, C.J. Verdell, number 1 overall pick in Dynasty drafts. And it's just gone. That's up in smoke. And now we don't even know if he's going to get drafted. He'll probably get drafted in Dynasty drafts, just name alone. Somebody's going to take a chance on him, but just rough.
I mean, he was top 5 last year for sure.
Yeah.
And then he went back.
Had to do it. It's sad but true. But take the L here to Brian Robinson. Ooh, this bottom section of this is going to get interesting. Someone's going to get lucky. So right to the next guy, we got Jahan Dotson. That's a wide receiver. He's the 3rd ranked in this bracket, and he's out of Penn State. And he's up against Ty Chandler, number 14th ranked in the bracket, running back out of UNC. and I think this is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Ty Chandler taking the L.
Oh yeah, big time. Chandler though, man, he is fun. Fucking speed for that size. For him to be that big and run a sub 4.40, he's like an absolute home run hitter that like anytime he touches the ball, there's a chance he can take it to the house. So from that angle, like, yeah, super fun to watch. Just, I don't know, doesn't have the complete back skills there that I think I would really want. Doesn't have a ton of power, anything like that. And then Dotson, obviously, I have a love affair with. Maybe starting to wane a bit. I've put him back below Olave. I think I had him above Olave. That was a bit of a stretch for a minute, but he's still a guy I'm super high on. So Chandler just doesn't have a chance. But I do like Chandler as a player.
I also like Chandler a lot as a player. You talk about his game style, and yeah, he is fast and he has quick feet. And I thought my favorite thing about him was he seemed extremely decisive. So
Yeah.
he just, one cut, put the foot down and hit the hole. And it was awesome. Obviously you got Sam Howell vulturing half of his touchdowns. So what could have been? Am I right, Sam? But Chandler he is his first year at UNC. He hit the 1,000-yard mark after being in Tennessee for 3 years, having back-to-back 600-yard seasons. So yeah, I think that he has a lot of potential, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe if he had been at a school for several years or whatever happened in Tennessee, he might have a little more production. But watching the film, I thought it was fun. It was pretty excited. He had some big shoes to fill, obviously at UNC last year, and I thought he did a pretty good job considering.
I'm with you. It would have been interesting to see if he had gotten more of the work without Sam Howell. But then you also, the other side of that coin is, okay, well, why didn't he then? Like,
Sure.
Why were they running Howell so much? So that's the fear. But yeah, potential's there, man. It's crazy to watch him go. Like exactly what you're saying. He makes that one cut and then just takes off, and you're like, God damn, he's just gone.
He gets it done, man. Yeah, first year in that offense probably set him back on the production, but to hit 1,000 yards, maybe. This is a guy I'm definitely keeping an eye on. 4.38, 40. Like, I'm in on him.
Yeah.
I just got to wait to see what the NFL says. But he ain't beating Jahan, man. Are you kidding me?
No.
Jahan, he's going to be right there at the 1-2 turn in the NFL draft. It's going to be decent draft capital. So we'll move on to Jalen Wydermyer, number 7. He is the Texas A&M tight end. And then he's up against the quarterback from Nevada, a Wolfpack. Coming in at number 10 spot. So, yeah. What's up? I'm going to say every matchup.
I think you hit it on the head in our quarterback breakdown episode. Like, Carson Strong has an awesome arm. He's super accurate, like one of the coolest guys to watch throw a ball. But he's just not going to make it long-term in the NFL, to me. Pass rush is too fast and too good, and he can't move. He can't move that well. He's not going to be able to escape pressure. And so do I think Carson Strong could come out and have some really cool games where people get really excited about his potential? Absolutely. But eventually that lack of movement, you see that catch up with quarterbacks at the late stages of their career. Well, he's already at a late stage with how he can move. And so it's just going to get worse and worse. So I don't think he has a very long career ahead of him, maybe as a backup, but not as a starter. And then, so going up against a tight end as dynamic as Wydermyer is just not going to work out for you.
Amen, brother. I'm with you on that. Another thing that you can just shit on Carson Strong. We usually say good stuff about the loser, but I'm going to not do that. His second read thing was just like a huge concern for me. Like
Yeah.
if the play didn't go exactly how the called play was supposed to go, it got a little iffy, and so that on top of the mobility, I think he could get better at that if he had mobility, but he can't extend plays at the college level. So I'm not seeing like in the Mountain West. So how are you going to do that in the
Yeah.
NFL? So
100%.
he losing, but he's still badass, and he had a couple of little wolf pups on the receiving side that we're all super excited about. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
Hang on there, Wolfpack guys. Did any of them win in the first round?
I don't think so. Did Romeo
No.
Dubs lose? Yeah, they all
Oh, that's
lost.
sad. I was
Yeah.
gonna try to join in on the. It's hard to time the wolf howl
Mm.
with the delay, so I was gonna try and do it, but it's not gonna come up anymore during the tournament. So
It would have been perfect because you ooh, and then they hear in the distance, and it.
Oh yeah.
oh,
Well,
duh.
one last one for
Come on.
Cole Turner, Carson Strong, and Romeo Dubs. Oh! Hell yeah. Well, if there was only one left, then we should do it right now. We got number 2, Chris Olave, Mr. Smooth, coming at you out of Ohio State, the Buckeyes. What you gonna do? And then he's up against Tyler Goodson. Now, Tyler Goodson's out of Iowa. So what up? I actually originally had Max Borgogi in this spot, who is running back out of
Boston.
Washington State.
March 28th, everybody.
And their pro days March 28th. And he's a guy I'm super into.
Okay.
But he's a sleeper. And then Tyler Goodson had a great combine, so I just had to do it. I had to put in like real players instead of players that I was the only person that was into. But you should check out that
sub 200 white boys running back.
He's barely sub 200, and he might not even be sub 200. You don't know. You don't know
nothing.
Oh yeah, because college is like, let's put him under what he said he weighed. That's what we do in college.
You know what they say, man?
Robinson.
Cafeteria food. You never know what's gonna happen. But well, that got weird. Sorry. PFF has him at 205. Asshole.
Oh, got him. Speaking
making
of
a note here, Max
guys,
Borgogi.
Goodson is interesting. He's got good speed, not world breaking, but solid. I think he runs fairly strong for his size, but it's clear now that I'm a sizeist. So a sub 200 running back would instantly lose to somebody half as good as Chris Olave for me. And obviously Chris Olave is like one of the best receivers in this draft. But I do like Goodson, man. I think he could have a nice little career carved out for himself. J.D. McKissick-like career where, you could slide him in and use him as a piece, but then he kind of just rots on your bench for most of the time. I think he moves really well while running. It's like he just kind of has these subtle moves that get him out in space, and it's nice. But mostly the reason he needs to lose is because the number 15 for a running back is fucking stupid, and he shouldn't have it as his number. So that's why he deserves to lose.
Well, it really synced up with our bracketology here. So that's double 15s.
That helps, but I had another problem with one. What was it? 24 for Skyy Moore. Or is that Skyy Moore, or who's number 24? I forget. Whatever. A receiver being 24 and a running back being 15.
It's Skyy Moore.
Okay. We need to knock that shit out. That's dumb.
Okie dokie. Well, you heard it here first. I really liked watching Tyler Goodson, and I really think the the 73 on the speed score, 76 on the burst score, percentiles, of course, and that 4.42. You're right. I would have been really happy if he had gained 4 pounds. you know. But that he doesn't. He does have a pretty good receiving profile, but he's not hitting the end zone. Like for the usage to have 256 carries and only 7 touchdowns, kind of like that's showing that he's kind of light. He's not that powerful as far as getting the momentum going. So yeah, gotta choose to lose. Well, that's it. I mean, that's 2 brackets, straight up, straight down. Look at you. Look at what we found. No.
Keep going.
So we're gonna do the round of 32 next week. So we'll have that bracket made up, and maybe we'll post it somewhere, and that'll be that, man. It's a pretty good time, though.
Well, shoot, let me run it back real quick.
Absolutely.
Daniel's off to the Wiz Palace. Breece Hall versus Erik Ezukanma. Breece Hall moves on. Calvin Austin versus Jerome Ford. The 8, the 9. The 9 moves on. Jerome Ford moves on to the next round. Matt Corral, the 5 versus Bo Melton. The 12. And Matt Corral moves on. George Pickens versus Cade Otton. The 4 and the 13. George Pickens moves on. The man, the myth, the legend. The 6. Brian Robinson Jr. versus the 11th CJ Verdell. Brian Robinson Jr. moves on. Jahan Dotson, the 3. Ty Chandler, running back from UNC. He loses. Jahan Dotson moves on. Jalen Wydermyer, tight end from Texas A&M versus Carson Strong, the Wolfpack quarterback. Carson Strong loses. Jalen Wydermyer moves on. And then Chris Olave versus Tyler Goodson, the running back from Iowa. Chris Olave, the Ohio State receiver, moves on. Breece Hall, Jerome Ford, Matt Corral, George Pickens, Brian Robinson, Jahan Dotson, Jalen Wydermyer, Chris Olave, the round of 32.
Oh!